Hey everyone, Chris here from AV Technology. I'm here with Bob Snyder and Gill Ferrell. We're having a quick chat for Convergence conversations for Integrate Expo coming up next year. Thanks, Bob, and thanks, Gill, for joining me.
Pleasure.
Nice to be here.
The reason that we're having this conversation is that both of you are convening two different summits. So, Bob, if I'm not very much mistaken, you're convening the Smart Building Summit, and Gill, you're convening the Education Technology Summit. Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah.
So I guess the purpose of the chat was to, I guess, build a little bit of excitement around ISE, which, if that needs building at all, seems to sort of help itself to the excitement, doesn't it, Bob? Like, it gets bigger and bigger every year, as far as I'm aware, and a lot of Australians go. So the idea is to, I guess, sort of highlight the education session by having a personal chat with the two of you, and also get a sense of what people can expect out of these summits next year. So can maybe kick off with you, Bob, just a little bit of an overview of what's happening this year and the type of attendee you get and what they can expect.
Sure. Happy to contribute here. So Smart Building Summit is the cutting edge of the built environment. And ISE, of course, is mainly about the built environment, although it includes staging and other aspects. But, if you look at the built environment, eventually most of our technology ends up in buildings. So it's either in smart offices, smart homes, or, smart workplaces. And that, so the Smart Building Summit is a little different than I think some of the other summits at ISE. Our speakers are generally people from the smart building industry. They're the people that are, if you look at an airport, they're the control tower while we operate the different airlines. And a lot of these people, it's the only time in the year that our AV industry has a chance to meet and talk with giant real estate companies, the tech companies who are developing the operational side of the building, as well as the informational side of the building and that. So I think this is drawing from two sides. It draws a lot of people in smart building to ISE. It also draws the companies at ISE who are very conscious of the built environment. And a lot of the larger integrators have divisions that cover smart building or smart workplace or smart office. And these integrators come in to catch a glimpse of the other side of the landscape, so to speak.
Gotcha. And Gill, I guess a similar deal, like the type of people that an education technology summit attracts has been changing a lot over the years. More and more of that would be coming from within the education facilities themselves. Like, can you tell us a little bit about who you attract to an education technology summit?
Yeah, gladly. ISE is quite unique, really, in the landscape, because there are a lot of EdTech summits. There is a lot of other EdTech that wouldn't fall under the ISE remit. So, like Bob, it's very much it started out as very much the technologies that you're using within buildings, in auditoriums, in classrooms, etc. But it's branched out into virtual immersive environments, novel kinds of learning environments that are really at this intersection. Of course, through the pandemic, then the unified comms technologies took on an increasing role. And one of the reasons it's such a kind of must-go-to show for education people is this intersection with the other education summits, because higher education in particular is such a complex environment. It's not just the classrooms, they have all sorts of other buildings, they have student accommodation, it's a massive physical estate as well. So as well as the ed tech, then the smart building element really comes into that, and even digital signage as well. So it's really the place where the people who are responsible for that kind of kit within the physical estate would come. And the other trend that we've seen over the years is increasing convergence between IT and AV, and that really comes into play in the type of people that we attract to our summit as well.
Mm. And I think we found that here in Australia with the Integrate Expo. We maybe started 12 or so 15, I should say, plus years ago, where you would have installers and AV integrators, and over the years, the demographic has expanded considerably, and I guess that's something you must. You've touched on that already, I guess, a bit, Bob, but the constituents have expanded and spread enormously to encompass end users as well as sort of the traditional commercial AV guys.
What a great topic for a convergence discussion. I mean, you can't get more convergence than in a smart building where they're trying to bring together different facilities, different functions, and they're trying to, these days, the big trend is they're all focusing on the user occupant. And previously, a building went up and it was a building. It was designed as a blank box where everybody had to adapt it themselves. Nowadays, companies are using it as a competitive advantage to draw talent. We have a smart building that'll make your life, more enjoyable while you spend all this time at work, as well as more operational for career build. The audience, again, that comes in, we have largely integration attendees. A lot of them are companies who are small, who want to be master system integrators in small buildings. A lot of them are the largest AV companies in the world, but it's the division that's trying to specialize in smart building where they're integrating and pulling it all together. We also attract a lot of the what you call the mastering engineering consulting companies. They're giant companies who are hired for one specialization in the building or for the integration of multiple specialities in a building. And again, the tech advisory of JLL, the largest corporate real estate company in the world, these people provide us with input on stage as well as the audience.
Mm-hmm. And Gill, are the people who are coming to your summit, do you get the feeling that, I don't want to corner you about AI and ambush you about AI, that would be unfair, and I don't think anybody necessarily wants to hear too much about it anymore anyway, but with that as the backdrop to just about everything, are educators and AV people, technology experts in the education sector, are they optimistic? There's a nice way of asking the question. Are they optimistic, and what should they be optimistic about?
Cautiously optimistic, I think, is the word in education. I mean, to follow the same themes that Bob's just been talking about. I mentioned that one of the things that was bringing us out together was the AV and IT convergence, and they weren't always easy or happy bedfellows as they were merged into single departments, etc. And a few years ago, a lot of the value of our event was bringing these communities to talk to each other. And gradually, as we kind of got over that hurdle, we've been much more user focused as well, exactly along the same lines that Bob's talking about, thinking about the end users of these technologies. And that's particularly important in the education world, and particularly important as we are trying to deal with an increasing range of lifelong learners. You're not focused on an 18-year-old school leaver or whatever. There's the whole world of work, the immersive technologies that comes into that. So we have this vast user base to be conscious of serving. And we also have the idea that education is a public good. I mean, that's certainly very, very the European perspective. It's largely publicly funded. It's there to serve the public good. We have a social responsibility. And all of that comes into play in terms of the technologies we use. And when you think about something like AI, great potential benefits, but also great potential risks. And we're looking along a spectrum from actually protecting children and younger learners using these technologies to how it's coming into play in preparing people for the workforce of the future, where these are going to, these technologies are going to be commonplace, the security elements that come into play, and the accessibility elements and inclusivity as well. So I haven't maybe answered your question. There are so many, but there are a lot of complex topics that we wrangle with. And I think in an education environment and the kind of responsibility that's on us that we have to our learners, it weighs heavily. So, we really kind of look into the implications of some of these in depth. And the theme of our conference this year is a learning future for all. Are we really taking every learner with us? Are we making sure that regardless of age, social background, physical disability or whatever, that people can engage with the technologies that we're providing and that they can help them achieve their potential?
And finally, just a short question for both of you. Just you've no doubt been to a few of these trade shows. Bob looks like somebody who's been to plenty, and I can tell. I have too, Bob. So
yes, of course.
No slight. What do you look forward to the most when you go to a trade show like ISE, apart from your own summit? Well,
one of my other jobs at ISE is to give tours to VIPs for the ISE, and the thing that excites me about it is you can clearly see, business is a lot about a battle, for market share and people positioning their products, their standards against others. Here we have it all in one place where you can take either a personal view or, like I do, a tour and go down into the halls and show what is the battle, why is this company positioning this way? Why is this company introducing that technology? And it's very exciting if you're looking at it in terms of who's taking market share, who's winning, who's losing. And I find that part, as a former journalist, I find that part of the commercialization very intriguing.
No doubt. Gill, can a show like ISE be too big, or you still look forward to it?
It's a bit daunting. You've got to be able to find your way around it. And I think it pays to do a little bit of research in advance to think about what trends you're interested in, to really kind of go there knowing who you want to meet. But doing the show floor tours is great. Like Bob, I've led them. We have them for different audience segments. And I think that's a great way to find your community within this vastness that is ISE. But the scale's important as well, sometimes just to wander and talk to people you might not normally talk to, really see the future.
I think Jill's brought out a great point there. Again, if you look at ISE, unlike a lot of other trade shows, ISE is really this integrated event. And what we're integrating is not only technology, we're integrating communities. So, Jill and I are both in charge of very specific communities that, are looking for integration to other communities there at ISE. And that's the most valuable thing, whether you're from Australia or from New York, or Milan, you have an opportunity to fulfill your community effort globally, and then also the opportunity to take the window into other communities that are related and have impact. So often people in business are in their own bubble and they don't get a chance to see. A lot of management consultants make their living by introducing people to examples from other industries. And here we have it all in one place at one time in Barcelona.
Absolutely, and make the most of those opportunities. Don't walk the floor, go to the social events, go to the networking events, talk to people that you wouldn't normally talk to. That's where you get the value.
Yeah, here. Well, I appreciate both of you answering the call and having a chat. I'm all as you looking forward to ISE next year, and I wish you all the best for your individual summit events. They sound awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.